Hello, faithful listeners. My name is Clay Thompson, and I'll be your guide once again in the Fiction Room. Today's prompt is brought to us from username Sebastian014. You, a novice necromancer, accidentally discovered a new and more effective way of using your magic. Politely ask the dead for assistance, which works surprisingly well. For this, you were hunted by both your fellow necromancers, for your unorthodox methods, and paladins for using necromancy. As always, I hope you enjoy listening to these stories as much as I enjoy reading them, but without further ado, let's begin with our first story, written by Typical Falcon Sands. "Aww, please?" I asked, blinking my eyes at the dragon. The dragon scoffed, rolling its eyes.
"Human, if I did not want to assist you, I would not have risen from my eternal slumber."
The dragon's old, rusty, and creaky bones rattled as I gave a little squeal and practically hugged the leg of the dragon. "Yay! Thank you!" "What's your name?"
"Bob,"
the dragon said flatly. "Bob. Well, I am Lila." I jumped back as I heard the thundering clop of the horses of the paladins, and the little band of dead I raised who wanted to aid me turned to face them. Well, I got some good finds. A reanimated fluffy werewolf, a lonely knight, another necromancer who was curious in my abilities, some wolves with some special abilities to rouse both living and dead wolves to their aid, regardless of pack, and now a dragon named Bob.
"This is the resting place of millions,"
Bob said gently.
"Be careful on who you ask."
I skipped to the center of the graveyard, calling out to the dead. "Hey, if you want to help me make a final stand against paladins and some necromancers who would rudely awaken you from the dead, you're free to do so." The ground rumbled underneath my feet as the wolves stepped out and howled into the night. Many pinpricks of light shone in the darkness, and wolves were beginning to rise from the ground, mangled and torn apart, but alive and snarling. I mean, the necromancers don't really like me politely asking you guys, but that's just manners. And raising the dead by asking isn't exactly dark magic, is it? The knight drew his sword with a metallic shing, and the necromancer summoned dark energy, ready to fight. The werewolf howled into the night and bared its sharp claws, black in the moonlight. The pinpricks of light around us were coming closer, taking the form of live wolves, 40 packs strong. The rude necromancers came closer. Every step a wake of dead forcefully yanked out of the ground would follow, snarling in disturbed rest. I don't know what the paladin's deal is with being polite, but they clearly don't like me. "Please help. I sniffed suddenly. "I didn't ask for this. I only asked for a friend to talk to, and the earth gave me one." The ground rattled and cracked underneath my feet. "I'm scared, and I'm lonely, and everyone doesn't like me because, I don't know, I'm too weird. But then when I finally have more friends, more people want me to die. I don't want to die." My voice shook as I curled up into a ball on the ground. "I just don't want to be alone." There was the blood-curdling cry of violence and war as Bob prepared his wings for takeoff and aerial assault. There were so many paladins. There were so many necromancers. There were so many hostile dead. The wolves might not make it in time. I could hear their desperate patter on the ground, trying to race the horses to me. Even after I'd told the paladins I didn't mean it, they called me a witch and said I didn't deserve to live. But I screamed and told them I didn't mean it. I just wanted a friend. The necromancers told me I'd never belong because I was too nice, and they'd have fun watching me get ripped apart by the paladins because I would never be a good enough person for any dead to like me, especially if the living don't like me. There was only one of me. I want my mom and dad back. They raised their long, pointy sticks and called me a witch when I showed them my new friend. They wanted to keep me locked up. What happened to all the fun times when they took care of me? I sobbed, curling up. Can someone help me? Please? I squeezed my eyes shut and let the tears pour down into the earth as the first paladin roared and raised his sword above his head to strike me down. I felt the earth rumble beneath me and abruptly shift due to a crack in the ground as I heard the paladin stumble back and the sound of metal to metal coming to blows. There was a roaring sound as more cracks were felt, and the ground broke apart at the sound of enraged dead.
What in the... You're a paladin! A dead paladin! She put you under her spell!
A paladin shouted, probably at a reanimated paladin.
She's only 7.
A more throaty growl.
She's faced loneliness. She wouldn't resort to this if she was taken care of.
With every pause, there was a swing of a sword.
That's what I'm trying to do!
The living paladin exclaimed, raising his sword to strike me down.
To take care of the
The paladin was cut off with a sickening sound of a slice to the neck, as I screamed and covered my head and ears, muffling the sounds of the battle. Sometime during the battle, the werewolf curled around me, covering me in its musky, fluffy warmth. It would shake if a stray arrow hit it, growl at other dead, and whimper when it thought I couldn't hear. I wanted a friend, I whispered to the ground. Is that too much to ask?
It's okay,
grunted the werewolf, curling closer to protect me.
You've got us now.
Ooh, the fact that this was just a little girl that wanted a friend, that hits me right in the heart. I don't have kids, but my fatherly senses are going haywire right now. Oh, very well done, very well done. So now, let's move on to our second story, written by Rusty Hematite.
Well, that was rather rude,
he said to the body on the ground. He'd propped the head on a rolled-up blanket and tidied up the bits of the armor that weren't torn apart. Paladins are oddly sensitive about their appearance.
For my part, I am sorry. I would have loved to talk things out, but Carol and Rumus are very quick to act.
The necromancer paused, looking around his small retinue of compatriots. He's maybe friends with Rumus, partially because they had been friends before the man's unfortunate sickness. But the rest, well, he doesn't want to presume. They're all nice enough. More of co-workers, really.
Also, he said with a small amount of indignation, isn't it dishonorable to attack a man while he's sleeping? Is there not a paladin code about that?
The paladin's shoulders twitched slightly upwards in a shrug before she, maybe because he's not comfortable taking off the armor to check, goes very still again.
Ah, I saw that, the necromancer said. No need to play coy. Just a quick chat. Then I can put you back to rest, or you can come along. It really is your choice.
The paladin croaked a hollow laugh.
Oh my, is your throat all right? I could probably fix it if you want.
He heft up a doctor's bag.
Also with magic, he added. But I doubt you'd be all right with that just yet.
What do you want of me? The paladin said, definitely sounding feminine.
Oh, well, I'd like if you joined us. We can go clear up any of your unfinished business, help some people out with ogres or the like. One day, maybe find a dragon. That one's a pipe dream, I'll admit. But it'd be a great story.
The order forbids it, the paladin said, dully, like she's just stating facts. He hummed, saying,
That's understandable. Long history of antagonism. I'm really not trying to force you to do anything, I swear. But if it makes you feel any better, you'd probably get the chance to kill Rook in the Rot Eternal soon. He's rather mad at me. A long pause.
Why?
The paladin asked. I think it's a size thing, the necromancer said. He was very proud of his horde, even though he had to re-raise them every fortnight. Apparently, our little crew upset him.
Another pause. Then the paladin rose with a squeal of metal rubbing over metal. I will join you to end his evil. I promise nothing else.
Oh, that's lovely. What should I call you, by the way? We can use fake names so the paladins don't catch on.
Then call me Maureen for now, she said. And what is your grotesque title? Standing, the necromancer pulled her, with a great deal of strain on his part, to her feet.
Oh, just Steve. Now, since my sleep's thoroughly ruined tonight, let's go find you some new armor, Maureen. I feel like this is the beginning of a very cute love story. The forbidden love between the paladin and the necromancer. I can't think of anything else other than that's adorable, very good, I want to know more. Now that I think about it, that might work for a D&D campaign. Anyway, for now, dear listeners, we must unfortunately bid you farewell once again. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Fiction Room. If you enjoyed today's stories, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It would very much help us. And wherever you are in the world, be safe, be well, and we'll see all of you next time.